Hi, I'm Oleg Christofa, and this is a story for adults. Today we'll talk about the most heroic hero of all time, who even made it into the Guinness Book of Records for his heroism. He was also General Secretary for almost 20 years, not like Stalin or Putin, of course, but still a long time. He managed to fight in the war, write many books, invent the victory obsession, and teach the world to kiss. Hello! Moscow accuses us, saying Ukrainian Brezhnev ruled, so there was no Soviet occupation of Ukraine. They decided to deal with Ukrainian identity, heroism, and the victory obsession. Subscribe to this adult history series. In the West, Brezhnev was most remembered for his kisses at official meetings. Reserved European politicians were shocked when the leader of the Soviet regime suddenly hugged and kissed them. This intimate greeting later became known as the Brezhnev triple: a kiss on one cheek, the other, and a final kiss on the lips. Leonid Ilyich's kiss with East German leader Honecker was even painted on the Berlin Wall. To Soviet people, Brezhnev was remembered for his boring speeches on television and his vague, often comical vocabulary. For instance, he'd say Satian countries for socialist countries and Siberian bases for systematically. He became a symbol of USSR's decline and leadership's senility. You have little work, almost none. I prepared yesterday for today, must prepare today, and tomorrow meet this president. His reign, compared to predecessors and successors, was marked by relative calm, stability, and even some prosperity. It was reflected in sausage costing 2.20 rubles and infrequent vodka price hikes. They started making affordable Zhiguli cars and building spacious apartments, not cramped Khrushchevkas, but Brezhnevkas or...
Правда, все це було не завдяки талантам дорогого Леоніда Ілліча, а через серію нафтових криз на Заході.
Thanks to them, petrodollars flowed to the USSR. When relations with the West soured and sanctions hit, sanctions were imposed for invading.
У Союзі почався дефіцит і тотальна корупція. Санкції ж наклали за вторгнення до Афганістану.
A state sanctioned by Brezhnev himself. He crushed Czech attempts at socialism with a human face. The Kremlin sent tanks to Prague to protect locals. Brezhnev was military-minded, being a war veteran. He even received the highest military order for it, victory.
Отмечается ваш большой вклад в победу советского народа. Правда, великий вклад помітили аж у 1978-му, коли дорогий Леонід Ілліч був при владі вже цілих 12 років.
He was awarded in violation of regulations, as the order was meant for top commanders during wartime only. But that's just the tip of Brezhnev's award iceberg. He was a four-time hero of the Soviet Union, surpassing even Zhukov. He was also a hero of socialist labor, thrice hero of East Germany, Bulgaria, and Czechoslovakia, hero of Cuba, Laos, Mongolia, and Vietnam's labor hero. He had 18 titles and countless minor orders and medals, including honorary metallurgist of Warsaw's Huta plant and Lenin Prize laureate in literature.
Гута Варшава або лауреат Ленінської премії в галузі літератури.
Most experienced driver, best quack producer, honorary diver badge, Steichen Putin. He got the literary prize for a war book, more like a pamphlet really. 60, known as Malaya Zemlya, was studied and discussed everywhere. Small land, virgin lands campaign.
Випустили у форматі аудіокниги на грамплаті. При цьому справжніми спогадами ні ця книга, ні інші його опуси не були. Їх готували ідеологічно вивірені колективи літературних рабів.
Меньше всего мне хотелось бы, чтобы книга «Малая земля», «Возрождение», «Целина» воспринимались как мемуарное сочинение.
They were seen as rewriting history for each new leader, not memoirs. Under Khrushchev, Stalingrad was the war's turning point as he fought there. Not on the front, but as a commissar on the front's military council. Brezhnev was also a commissar, but saw action at Novorossiysk in 1943. The Kremlin aimed to cut off German troops led by von Kleist in the Caucasus and defeat them like Paulus at Stalingrad. But it didn't work out. Kleist escaped, and the Soviet landing at Novorossiysk was defeated. Only a small bridgehead near the city remained, held by Marines to draw enemy fire. Marine Corps. Marines held their positions for over 6 months, and their morale was boosted by the political officer. Leonid Brezhnev was reportedly shell-shocked here, but didn't earn major awards. Overall, Brezhnev's military career wasn't successful. He joined in 1941 from Dnepropetrovsk's party, becoming a brigadier commissar general. Brigade. Demoted to colonel in 1942, he had to go to the front to the small land. Mostly at HQ, only becoming a commissar general again at war's end. In power, he became the USSR's top veteran, small land, its greatest battle. Even a joke appeared. What did you do in the war? Fought heroically on small land with Brezhnev or hid in Stalingrad trenches? Zhukov, or rather his ghostwriters, rewrote memoirs to flatter the hero. They never met in war, so they invented. Zhukov once sought the frontline truth from Colonel Brezhnev, but he'd gone to small land. They swam and swam, and then they shat on the shore. And so it went. Victory Day became the most important holiday in the USSR, along with the anniversary of the October Revolution. It was made a public holiday, and grand parades began to be held in the capitals of the Union and republics, and at least some in regional and district centers. Monuments sprang up everywhere. In the capitals, they were monumental, while in villages and towns, they were uniform and made of plaster. The colossal motherland statue in Kiev was also opened by Brezhnev. Well, how could it be without him? When sanctions hit and the money for all this extravagance ran out, it was the victory that was used to cover up all political and economic failures. Literally, we had a war and we defeated Hitler. When no one believed in building communism anymore, victory became the Kremlin's last propaganda trump card. Putin has only restored and expanded on this idea from "we have won" to "we can do it again." And that's why Russia is still fighting. Hitler, because if the Kremlin doesn't like you, then you're a fascist. Today, fascism in our country has taken on its own color, green. During this Russian invasion, Putin's propaganda pulled out another ace. Brezhnev was neither more nor less than a liquidator of the Bandera movement. We looked into it and found that General Major Brezhnev, head of the Carpathian Military District's political department, fought UPA for a year. How? Well, he just sat in his hotel room. In central Lviv, he complained to the Kremlin about banderites attacking soldiers and political workers, while also reporting on NKVD abuses affecting troops. That's the entire war. What am I saying? We're in deep trouble. But they say he feared nationalists, so he crushed dissent in Ukraine with camps and Russification. For others, this was mild. In the 30s, young communist Brezhnev directly organized the Holodomor. Before death, he told advisors, "You'll go to peasant homes for surplus." Taking bread away, he sees kids' eyes watering from beets with nothing else to eat, yet they took it, saying, "We'll find food." We ask, is he really Ukrainian? Who am I? As proof, they show Brezhnev's passport. Born in Dnipropetrovsk region, they say. Interesting, but his memoirs say otherwise. His father's from Kursk, village Brezhnevo. The rest is verbatim. So, I'm Russian by nationality, a native proletarian by origin. In youth, this proletarian stated his nationality even more grandly. Great Russian. He became Ukrainian in 31, joining the party in Kamyansk, Dnipropetrovsk region. Exactly. Then, Skripnik's Ukrainization reached party members, as 52% were Russians seen as occupiers. To advance in the party, one had to learn Ukrainian or risk being fired. Brezhnev did this too, calling himself Ukrainian until the 50s when Moscow summoned him and made him head of Moldova's Communist Party. At the pre-Congress meeting, Stalin saw him and remarked, "What a handsome Moldovan, maybe he even learned to kiss." But Brezhnev didn't stay Moldovan nor Kazakh when he led Kazakhstan's party. During the war, he became Russian again, remaining so till the end. Hello, I'm a Russian occupier, so pardon me, but Brezhnev's USSR was also a Russian occupation. These are just some key facts about him. If you're interested in true Kremlin boss stories, comment and subscribe to our channel. Forget about Patreon and donations. That's all for now. See you next week.